Who'd you like to talk to next?
Let's take Bree.
All right. Bree in Iowa. You're live with Eric and V. How are you doing? Bree?
Hello?
Bree going once. Bree
I'm
going
good.
twice.
Thank you.
Hey.
Oh, hello.
Hello. There might be a bit of a delay. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, I was actually listening on YouTube because the sound's better on there.
Got it.
Sounds good.
Okay. So what do you want to talk about today?
I wanted to talk about the rapture. And I mean, I think V might be familiar with this theology.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, it's, from what I've understood, it's kind of a little unique to American evangelicals. And basically, it's this belief that all Christians are going to be taken up to heaven at a moment's notice. I think you've probably seen like the Left Behind movies and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I read all the books.
Yeah.
It's depicted in Revelation. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, like, as a child, it really kind of traumatized me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I remember actually being afraid that I didn't believe hard enough and, like, just stopping what I was doing in my room and just praying the sinner's prayer over and over again, hoping that, you know, I believed enough so that I wouldn't go downstairs and find that I was all by myself.
Yep. Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just going to relay my own experience. What were we doing during Y2K? I remember when the year 2000 hit, when the ball dropped, I was in church on my knees, bawling, praying because we thought we were going to get voiped up to heaven. And 1201 hit, and we kind of looked around and wound up going home. But yeah, that fervent, praying and feeling like you're not good enough. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know my particular denomination focused a lot on the rapture and didn't really spend very much time talking about hell at all. So, because I know people have called in before and talked about how the hell has really kind of haunted them, and they've struggled to deal with, getting past that. For me, that was never really a concern. It was more I still deal with this fear of just finding myself suddenly all alone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I feel that deeply. For a long time when I was a kid, I couldn't close doors because I was afraid that if I opened them, everyone would be gone. I would have just sobbing fits in the middle of the night, convinced that I had done some horrible 8-year-old sin that would not be forgiven, and my entire family would leave. And there was also this I don't know if this is something that you've experienced too, there was this controversy or like disagreement between people in my world at that point that were saying, well, maybe God will take us up before the apocalypse and Armageddon and all of that, or maybe he's going to make us suffer through it and then take us up. And so there was this, I thought that I wasn't going to get to college. Like in my head, I was like, well, I've got about 3 more years of life, and then I'm either going to be killed by the government or I'm going to be in heaven.
Wow.
I was actually talking to Thomas Westbrook the other day, and he brought up this YouTube video of a evangelical preacher, and it's making the rounds right now. It has millions of views, and he's saying, Baal has returned, and the devil is here on earth, and the rapture is going to happen any minute. And yeah, it's interesting that this has been going on for as long as that's been a thing. These apocalyptic. People have described Christ as an apocalyptic rabbi. In the New Testament, it says that, it's going to happen before they die. We're still waiting.
Yeah.
It's funny they're talking about like Baal and Asherah coming back and like being like those are Like, nobody would even think about those ancient gods anymore if you weren't bringing them up. Like, the only reason they're still a thing is because you keep talking about them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I definitely am glad that you called in, because I have gotten plenty of messages from people who say, oh, well, I walked away from religion and everything's fine. I don't know why everybody else has a problem. But the fact is, yeah, we absolutely have to work through a lifetime of indoctrination and fear that's bred into you when it comes to things like hell and revelation. So you're not alone.
Yeah, and I guess, I don't know, because I kind of wanted to bring up Rapture because I've heard a lot of people talking about hell, but nobody really talking about the anxiety that the doctrine of the rapture can give people, and stuff like that. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, religion traumatizes people in many ways, not just one, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think just to bookend it, there are also a lot of cults and Christian adjacent religions that have popped up around this idea of revelation. Talking about Jehovah's Witnesses, right? There was a prediction that the end of the world was going to happen, and it came and it went and it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And it's just continually used to prop up the Great Commission. And
Yeah.
But is there anything else, or we could move on to the next call?
No, I think that's pretty much it. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
thanks for calling in, Bree.